Welcome to this Blooming Social Media live stream. What's today? It's a Tuesday and it's after the bank holiday. I thought I'd do a quick live stream on hashtags because there's still massive confusion out there about where and when and how you should use them. But before we do, let's talk a little bit about what's happening in social media world. Firstly, Facebook live streaming has been receiving a lot of airplay at the moment. I don't know about you, but I'm seeing a lot more live streams in my feed. BBC, I've seen football clubs doing them. I've started to see smaller businesses doing them as well, which makes it quite exciting. I think in terms of, for many businesses, doing live streams or doing video has been a real fear factor, and I think live streaming might help to break down a few of those barriers, but we'll see over the coming months. Twitter released their message button. So you'll notice on the bottom of a tweet, you'll see a little envelope. I think it's the second to the right icon. If you click that, you can then send that tweet directly to another Twitter user, which I think is really, really useful. We've got Facebook are now rolling out their instant articles to all publishers. If you've not seen instant articles before, they rolled out quite a few months ago, and they've been in testing with a lot of the big brands. And what they do is create mobile-friendly content that will load really, really quickly, in point something of a second. When somebody clicks on it, rather than it being a link and then going to a website and all that kind of messing about, this will just open immediately. We are just testing that now, try and get a grip to how it might work with some of the brands we work with. Facebook have released a slight tweak to the Facebook algorithm. The algorithm sits there and dictates who sees what, both business and personal. So as a business, if we post something onto our Facebook business page, only a very small fraction of people who are following that page will see it. As soon as people start interacting with it, the algorithm then will define more people that should see it. It's quite a complicated algorithm, but what it does do is it stops us all seeing too much content that we don't want to see, or that's the theory behind it. And don't forget, it makes Facebook a lot of money as well. LinkedIn are just rolling out their student app. So they've picked up on the fact that a lot of students are obviously hitting the job market, and it's just a way of putting jobs in front of students, which is going to be quite exciting. Dan, how are you?
Hello.
Also, Snapchat in the past couple of weeks released video stickers, and we're seeing those being used a lot. So basically, within a video, you can just stick a sticker within the video. So for instance, if it was on the end of a finger, if I moved my finger around it would follow that. We've seen people messing around with that. I think people are still struggling to see how that might be valuable, but we'll keep an eye on that. Instagram launched their algorithm, which is old news now. The real big news was when they announced they were going to roll it out, and there was a massive stink up. It's now out and active and doing what it's supposed to do. And I don't think people are overly affected by it. Brands will see a slight drop in engagement, I'm sure, but it will enhance the whole Instagram experience. You've got to remember there's 400 million people using that product a month, so it does need an algorithm in there. Otherwise, like Twitter, there'll just be too much content. And Instagram are also rolling out the ability right now to be able to up the videos from a maximum of 30 seconds up to a minute. So I'm quite excited to see how people are going to put that to work. With the massive growth in video content, I think Instagram have picked up nice and early that people are going to want to do more long form video content. We'll see how that goes. And then finally, Facebook have released their latest figures. It's all part of their the information they give to their investors. And two things that I picked up were really interesting there is their total monthly active users, that's people who have logged on at least every 30 days, is up to 1.59 million. That's an increase of 14% on the last period, or same time last year. And daily active users in the last quarter has increased 17% to just over 1 billion. So just over 1 billion individuals logging onto Facebook daily. Still think you shouldn't be marketing there. You might want to take another look. So the whole point of this live stream was to talk about hashtags and just to clarify where they should be used and where they shouldn't be used, how you should be using, how you shouldn't be using them. So I think we need to step back a few years. Hashtags were launched very early on after Twitter launched. So Twitter launched, yes, Robin, it is 1 billion. I know, very surprising. Thanks for joining us, Robin. Are you in the office today? So Twitter launched in 2007, and shortly after they launched the hashtag. And the whole point of it was to make it a lot easier for people to follow discussions about brands, events and promotions. So the hashtag becomes clickable, and if you click that, other people that are using that hashtag, it will group all of those mentions together. A great example would be something like hashtag X Factor or hashtag BBC QT for BBC Question Time. If you want to follow what's going on, you're watching it on the TV, but you also got a phone and you want to follow all the chatter that's going on Twitter, you just search for that hashtag or look for a tweet with that hashtag on, click it, and you'll see all content around that subject. Really brilliant for events and competitions, promotions, and some brands can get away with it. The couple of things to remember with hashtags is nobody owns them, so anybody can use them for anything they like. And the other thing is just do your research before you start playing around with a hashtag. I've seen too many mistakes where people just jump in, pick up a hashtag, use it, and find out that actually it's been used for something else that is totally unrelated to their business, event or promotion. So since Twitter launched them, they've then rolled out to Instagram, Facebook and other social media platforms. People just feel a bit more comfortable using them now, so we're seeing them roll out. They're also brilliant for brands to track the performance of their campaigns or promotions, so they can see all the chatter around a specific hashtags and then use that for data to kind of judge whether that promotional campaign has been successful. So a couple of stats for you, in fact, let's talk about Twitter first. So they're still highly relevant in Twitter. Remembering you are limited in an average tweet to 140 characters. You don't really want to exceed 125 characters because then you limit the possibility of it being retweeted. But what the current stats are is you're twice as you're going to get 2 times more engagement from a tweet that's got a hashtag over the whole month's worth of tweets. If you include the hashtags, you're going to see 2 times the engagement. That doesn't, it still relies on the content being good, but on the whole, that's what we're seeing. However, if you start using more than a couple of hashtags on Twitter, then that engagement drops right off, and it's really hard to anyway because you're using that 140 characters with just hashtags. It drops off. There's not enough content you can put in there. Include one hashtag, one link, and a bit of text, and you've easily used up that 120, 140 characters. Instagram's a whole different ball game. So what we're seeing across Instagram is if you use 11 or more, you'll see the highest engagement. The thing to remember with the hashtags for Instagram is you can use a maximum of 30. And please, don't be shy. Do a bit of research. Find the hashtags that work best for the brand you're working with. So, if it's fashion lines, look for other fashion brands out there that are getting high engagement on their Instagram. Look at the hashtags they're using and build up a library of the best hashtags you can use. A little tip is to stick them in the Notes app on your phone, so you haven't got to keep typing those hashtags. You can just copy and paste them into each post, and that works on Twitter as well as Instagram. What a lot of people also forget is you can put the hashtags into the first comment. So if you forget to put them in your post, just quickly jump back in and then just put them into the first comment. That is still searchable by Instagram. So don't worry if you've missed them out straight away. If you've missed them and then somebody gets in with the first comment, then you're better off just deleting that post and redoing it with the hashtags in. If you are putting hashtags on an Instagram post, just don't bother. It has a massive, massive effect. And then finally, let's talk Facebook. Should you be using hashtags on Facebook? It's a massive debate at the moment. We're not seeing any increase really on engagement. Some people are claiming that there is an increase on engagement if you use hashtags. We just don't see it. So at the moment, we're kind of sticking away from them unless they're for a specific promotion. And for instance, you might be using that hashtag on Twitter and you might be using it on printed materials or on your web assets. you might consider putting it in Facebook as well. So that's a quick introduction to hashtags. Use them as you see fit, test them, trial them, but don't forget, do your research first. There's nothing worse than jumping on a hashtag and it just fails miserably because somebody already had it before you and you're confusing people that are listening to it. If this is the first time you've used Facebook live streaming, you'll notice if you're in the updated app down the bottom, you should have a like button. You can hit that and I should see likes kind of roll across the screen, but that system's still rolling out at the moment. If you want to give more than a like, you can just swipe across slightly and you should see the other reactions on there. But that's it for today. I've been going for 10 minutes 43. It's not bad. Thanks for watching and take care.